Welcome to the Doskocil Law Podcast.
Welcome to the Doskocil Law Podcast with attorney Christopher Doskocil, an AV preeminent rated Missouri lawyer with more than 38 years of experience in family law, estate planning, and civil litigation. Chris believes good lawyering starts with honesty and ends with results and not promises. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about two documents that every adult should have, but many overlook: powers of attorney and healthcare directives. Chris explains what they do, why they matter, and how they can protect you and your family when life takes an unexpected turn. Chris, sir, welcome back.
Hey, good to see you again, Evan.
Good to see you too. We're going to be talking about how to protect your family with powers of attorney and these healthcare directives. Chris, could you start by explaining what a power of attorney and a healthcare directive actually are? I think we hear about it, but I don't think we really know.
Sure. They're not complicated documents, but a power of attorney is where a person designates another person to act on their behalf and to make decisions. We call that person an attorney in fact or an agent. The document says, if I am physically or mentally unable to take care of my business affairs, I designate this person to make these decisions and actions for me on my behalf. And the agent then uses this document and presents it to banks, insurance companies, roofers. You can sell a car, that kind of thing. And third parties can rely on this document as authoritative, giving that agent the power to do the things they're seeking to do.
So when do these documents actually matter? Is it only in these emergencies that you were talking about? Could they be useful in everyday situations, perhaps?
So they're only useful when the principal, the person who's giving the authority to another, is alive. Once that person dies, the document is no longer effective. And they are primarily for when bad things happen, emergencies. People have strokes, they get Parkinson's or ALS. People also go out of the country for extended periods of time. And that would be another reason that, not necessarily an emergency, but if you're going to spend the summer in Europe and you have a house and other assets here, wherever you live, they might need to be taken care of. A storm might demolish your house, or a vehicle, or banking bills need to get paid.
Right.
That kind of thing. So can they be every day? Well, they have to be, because once you're dead, they're not effective anymore. So yes, the answer to that is yes.
So what kind of problems have you seen when someone does not have these things in place? The power of attorney, healthcare directive. What have you seen that can cause a little bit of turmoil?
I get calls all the time. People say, my mom fell. She had a stroke. Someone had an event, a medical event. And my first question is, well, are they competent? Do they know where they are, who the president is, what day it is, what year it is? Because once you're incompetent, you can't execute documents, right? We don't let incompetent people handle legal matters, and a power of attorney it's a legal document, and you have to be competent to execute it. So it's important to get it done while you can. And most people, sound advice is, once you get married and start having kids, you should have these documents. Because that's, it's one thing if you don't have any assets, but, once you get married and start having kids, people acquire assets. That's what, that's just the natural course of life. And that's when these documents are beneficial and useful. It's when they should be executed. Some people don't get around to it until they're 40, 50, 60 years old, and that's okay. Most of us stay healthy, during the first half of our life. But they're good. They're good documents because once something happens and you're not competent, well, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's just something that you have to get car insurance, right? When you buy
Yeah.
a car. So this is just one of those things you kind of have to do.
It's well said. Who should people typically name to make these decisions for them if you can give them advice? What qualities make someone a good choice for that responsibility? Is it always just family, or is it somebody that you feel is more responsible?
It's usually family, but the big word here is trust. Who do you trust? So everybody has different abilities in life, right? Some people are frugal, some are not. Some are responsible, some are not. So you want to choose someone who is frugal and responsible, and that may preclude some family members. Uh, Most of the time, though, it is a spouse, and then you want to choose an alternate in case the spouse isn't available.
Yeah.
And that's usually a child. Sometimes it's a sibling. Sometimes it's an aunt or an uncle.
Hmm.
But the biggest factor is who do you trust to take care of you when you are unable to do so? And gosh, believe it or not, some people have a hard time with that. They don't have family. They
Absolutely.
don't have siblings. And it's like, well, I can't choose for you. You have to decide. If it's a friend, you know, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's got to be someone that you trust.
Absolutely. Are there differences between the financial and medical powers of attorney that listeners at home should be aware of?
Yes, there are. There are two different documents. They serve two different purposes, and both are as useful as the other. In a healthcare, it's called a healthcare declaration or healthcare durable power of attorney. And I like to, it, of course, it applies to all of your healthcare decisions. All right. And it's when the person cannot make those decisions themselves. You're asking someone else to make healthcare decisions for you when you are unable to do so. Um, the biggest thing about a healthcare declaration is the the authority to determine to end life. When two doctors, this is how I write my healthcare declaration. When two doctors say that I would be dead, brain dead, if I wasn't hooked up to these machines, then I want to be unplugged. So I like to refer to them as pull the plug documents. Because if you don't have that, uh, doctors want to save lives. They want
Right.
to prolong life. That's their oath, right?
Right.
And you can be plugged up to a machine for many years, and it's very costly and very expensive. Um, and we had a case in my lifetime where a woman was brain dead, and they had a hard time
Mm.
pulling the plug, and the Missouri legislature passed a law that said we're going to have a law here that says that people can have a healthcare declaration that says if doctors say that I am brain dead and I would be dead if it wasn't for these machines, then you can designate someone to tell the doctors to unplug me.
Mhm.
But it applies to all healthcare decisions. Um, that's a big one. But the one that's more common is when someone needs to be in rehab.
Mhm.
They have a stroke. They can't go home because they're not physically able to, or they're mentally not capable of taking care of themselves. So you need someone to get you into a facility and make these decisions on where you're going to go. And there are a lot of choices, but if you can't make them, you need someone to do it for you. And that's the
Mm.
best way to do it with the healthcare declaration.
Some people assume these forms are only for maybe the elderly. In your experience, who really needs these forms that we've been talking about?
Gosh, people get in automobile accidents and motorcycle wrecks and fall off roofs. Um, it it applies. It's once you become an adult, once you're 18 years old, you really should have these documents
Right.
because things happen. And believe it or not, um, for most of us, it's you don't even hear about it, or maybe hear about terrible things happening once or twice in your life. But in my world, it happens every day. You know,
Mm,
I've had just this year, I've had 3 clients that have hit pedestrians on the highway, and
wow.
it wasn't their fault. You know,
Wow.
people step out onto the highway in the middle of the night. It happens. Um, I hear these life changing events every day, and most of us don't. But it's a lot more common than you would think.
It's incredible. So how detailed should these documents be? Simple the better, or do you recommend spelling out specific wishes in these forms?
So my documents, I have options that you can choose. Like some people don't want to donate their body to medical science, and some people do. Some people don't want to donate their organs, and some people do. So there are options to choose. My forms include everything, and of course, you can opt out of certain things that don't fit within your particular thought pattern. Um, they're like I said, they're not overly complicated documents. Anybody can look at them and read them. Banks have to deal with them, vendors, people that fix your house. When you can't make these decisions. So they're not complicated, but they are detailed.
So when families come to you for help with these documents or these issues or anything like that, what kind of guidance do you give them to make sure everyone kind of understands their role before if an issue ever arises?
It's really not that complicated of a role. I just explain to people, look, this is if your husband has an event, an accident, you're going to use this document to do the things that you are already doing. You know, you have joint bank accounts, you have joint assets, you pay your bills and you file tax returns and all, you get your house worked on when the tree falls on your roof. So you're just doing the things that you're always been doing, except now we have one person who's really not either physically or mentally able to sign a check or
Mhm.
make a decision. So it's not as complicated as people like to make it out to be. It really isn't. You're just going to keep on doing the stuff you've been doing. Uh,
Yep. So, Chris, from someone listening who realizes they don't he have either one of these documents yet, what's the best way to get started and make sure it's done correctly?
just give me a call. We'll make an appointment. People, um, sooner or later, everybody comes to have acquaintances or a friend and say, you really need to have an estate plan and put your affairs in order. That's what people, I need to put my affairs in order. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. It's not expensive, in the realm of things. Um, and it's just a matter of sitting down and making some choices. Who's going to be your agent, uh, and make these decisions for you when you are unable to do so. A simple phone call. I like to meet people at their home to do
Right.
estate planning because that's where all their documents are. And I might have a question about, well, what does you mentioned this particular asset? What can you tell me about it? How is it titled? Well, I don't know. Well, don't you have paperwork? Yeah, where is it? It's right down the hall. Well, why don't you
Right.
go get it and let's figure it out and see what you got and see if you need to name a beneficiary or an alternate beneficiary or whatever. Um, and it's especially when I'm meeting a husband and a wife. I
Mm.
mean, that's where they are at the same time, is at their home after work. So, or they take, like yesterday was, or Tuesday was Veterans Day. So I met a couple at their home. They were both off work. It was Veterans
Mhm.
Day. So, and that's just a good place uh, that's how I like to do business.
Awesome. Christopher, sir, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Absolutely. And that's it for today's episode of the Doskocil Law Podcast. If you'd like to learn more about the man, attorney Christopher Doskocil, and his work at the Doskocil Law Firm, visit doskocillaw.com. You'll find straightforward information and honest guidance from a lawyer who's been helping Missouri families for more than 38 years. And so for listening, thanks for
Long
listening.
time. God, I'm old.
Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with somebody who might need it. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Evan. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.